are very welcome along to this week's edition of Time Out. We're over on YouTube this week, just having a few glitches with Facebook at the moment, but you're very welcome along, and welcome to our panel, Jason Killeen of Temple Oak and Neil Lynch of DBS Éina. Thanks a million, guys. Before we start with it has been a crazy couple of weeks in both the Women's Super League and the Women's Division 1. Cork Liffey Celtics, of course, who are reigning National Cup champions, have looked like they've done just about enough to secure the double, so that's the Women's Super League title and the National Cup, obviously. Having beaten Glanmire last Saturday evening, they reversed a huge deficit at half-time to come back and win the game out by 10. And that sees them top of the table now with just 3 games left to play, and their nearest contenders, DC Mercy, they have the head-to-head on them. So, Jason, that's a huge achievement for Liffey Celtics, first of all, to do their first ever cup title, and then to do back-to-back regular season wins as well. That's huge.
Yeah, it's massive, and you know, everyone that got to watch them play in the cup final here knows what kind of outfit they are, and you know, the 3-point percentages and the amount of 3-point shots that they made in that game. I think it's tough for anybody to beat them, really.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to watch them indeed, and we would like to wish a speedy recovery to their American Brianna Green as well, who picked up a knock in that game, so we hope to see you back on the court soon, Brianna. But we will be looking at Liffey and indeed the end of that season when it gets closer to the time. But speaking of end of season, one season has come to an end, the Women's Division 1 regular season. There is one game this weekend. It's a refix game that was moved out to next weekend, but for everyone else, the regular season is over, and we spoke about a double. It's another double here. Marie are National Cup and Women's Division 1 National League champions, and you're the one to talk about this because they've finished the season unbeaten, and you're currently unbeaten as well. That's an incredible achievement for Marie.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think you sometimes forget they've done it all without an American as well,
yeah.
Which is like undefeated. You know, it's a tough thing to do, and you know, fair play on the double as well. That's even harder to do, you know.
Yeah, it's massive for them, Jay. Their first year back into the Women's Division 1 in over 10 years, I'm going to say. To come back, as Neil said, without any Americans, an all-Irish team, reuniting you know, the underage teams of old, and to finish out unbeaten, a National League title, a National Cup title, and promotion to the Women's Super League.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we talk about all the time not having an American, but I think having the likes of Claire Rockwell
is the equivalent.
Who's been as good, or if not better, than any American has played in the league over here. You know, I think she's been a real leader for them throughout the year, and it's fantastic to see them back on their feet now.
Yeah, and I'll just check with Rory to see if we have the video from Marie ready to go. We do indeed. So we caught up, well, Keith Kelly rather, caught up with them for us, speaking to them after this incredible double that they won. And don't forget, they're also Southern Conference title winners as well. So much silverware going to Galway. But here's what they had to say in the dressing room after that win.
So, Mary ladies, crowned league champions today to go with your cup win. How does that feel?
Feels fantastic, Keith. I suppose the cup being the cup, there's rather than a whole lot about it, but we still had to get the job done with the league. I suppose if you want going back to the start of the campaign, we really didn't know. I certainly didn't know what we were letting ourselves in for. And to be with this fantastic bunch of ladies and to be unbeaten so far, and hopefully touch wood, it'll stay that way. The league speaks for itself, really. We have been strong in it and deserve a winner, I think.
Yeah, I suppose just to reiterate what Joe said, it's been a dream come true all the season to play alongside players that you've been playing with since you were 8, 9, 10 is just fantastic, and then to see young ones coming up and absolutely taking control, it's just a dream come true. So I suppose a season we could all have dreamt of at the start, but we've come through.
Yeah, so what Carl and Joe said, like it's been such a good season and hopefully it'll keep going, but we couldn't be there without the bunch of girls and obviously Keith and Joe as well, so it's been great. Yeah, we hope to keep going.
Yeah, we've had tough tests throughout the league. There's really tough competition out there, some good sides, we've had close games, so really good to be able to play with my home team again and pull through together.
So massive congratulations to Marie, as we said, doing the double in their first year back in the Women's Division 1, an absolutely incredible achievement, and we really looking forward to welcoming them up to the Women's Super League in the 2019-2020 season. That's a bit crazy thing to say, but this season is far from over. particularly in both your leagues, but in the Men's Super League, we're going to start with you guys, Jay. Templo, the pressure is on you at the top because there's a big chasing pack, but you got the win that you needed against DCU Saints last weekend.
Yeah, that's it. DCU beat us in the first round, so that was one that we definitely had to come back and win. Delighted with the win. I know there's a lot of people chasing us in that right now. I think we've been there enough times over the past couple of years that we're comfortable enough, and we're comfortable in the sense that we're just looking one game at a time and not looking too far down the road.
Yeah, is it hard, to not look at the table? Like I've interviewed a couple of the coaches who are in around that top 5 that are fighting for places there, and they're like, Pat Price even said at the weekend, we're trying not to look at the table. You got to be tempted.
You're trying not to, but obviously you're going to look at it a little bit when you're, guessing some results and looking at different things. But at the end of the day, a lot of it is out of your hands, and you can only concentrate on your own game.
Yeah, well, a big result, obviously for you guys to stay with just 4 losses, but Tralee are hot on your heels. They've 2 games in hand, 2 games still to play as well, but that was a huge road win for them against Belfast Town.
Yeah, massive, especially that road trip from Tralee.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
See, they got some lovely new vans for it.
Yeah.
But, it's a long road trip, and Belfast have been strong all year. They started strong, and they're still a great side. They're well coached, so it is a big win to go down and take.
Yeah, but it's not only you guys. Obviously, UCD Marion are well back in the race now, and an extremely high scoring win against Keystone Valley Gilorgan. They got up about 101, 103. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's massive to go down to Gilorgan particularly and do that. That's a gym that never played it before. Very high scoring finish.
Yeah, and it is a tough place. I mean, we just about walked out of there with a win a few weeks back by 1 point, so it is impressive to be able to go down there and put up big numbers like that. So
what do you think? What have we left? About 4 weeks? How many games have you left?
Yeah,
4 or 5 weeks?
We have 4 games left, and Tralee have 6 games left.
Okay, and then UCD are in around the same as Tralee. They've probably got 5 games. I think you're 4, UCD are 5, and Tralee are 6 games. And obviously we still have Colester and Belfast Star in the mix there as well. They're behind you on 6 losses. Nervy finish, really.
Yeah, I mean, but it was the same last year.
Yeah.
A week out from the finish last year, 5 teams could have won it. So
yeah,
it just goes to show that teams are carrying over that strength from year to year and being competitive.
Isn't it crazy though? At the moment, a team will win the league with 4 losses, if not more.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well, I mean, a more rounded league, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think, and you look at towards the bottom of the table with Neptune. Like we went to overtime with Neptune.
Yeah.
And just to go beat them, Gilorgan won by 1 point. So I think as a whole, the league is getting stronger from top to bottom.
Yeah, and there's some interesting clashes. If we take out that kind of top 3 there that are in the race, you've still Colester and Belfast, as we said, right behind you. Then there's the battle for 6th place with DCU Saints and Demons neck and neck there, and then you've got the bottom 3 battle is going to be a ferocious one. I think Marie could be in with a top 6 spot as well if results go their way in the next few weeks. Then you've got Gilorgan, Neptune, Amoy Cullen, all joint bottom of the league, and I'm sure the men's Division 1 teams wouldn't fancy facing any of those 3 really in a playoff. Like, there's huge battles, isn't it? It's brilliant, like, for the neutral, not for everyone else. I'm like, this is great.
It is. You talk about looking at the table and being tempted to look at the table, but I think when you do, you start looking at all the different battles that are going on.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 top 6, and then for the relegation as well. So it is very interesting.
Yeah, the relegation one is interesting, but I was going to go to next again, but we're actually going to go to the men's Division 1 because speaking of that relegation battle, there's obviously a promotion battle going on in men's Division 1, and this is a really interesting one because Aina, you're sitting 20-0. That's kind of ridiculous at the top of the Northern Conference. So after 6 months of basketball, you're unbeaten in the league. Yeah. I know you have that cup game, the one that got away, but like that's incredible.
Yeah, no, we put ourselves in a good position, and we're actually comfortable enough that we now know where we're looking at. We're looking at the semi-final game. So our next 3 league games, we do take them as a cup, but they're more in preparation of that. So we're definitely lucky in a way that, you know, that's what we're preparing for now. You know, we have our next 3 games, but we can't be caught at the top, so we're now looking to prepare for the semi-final. So we're, you know, again, looking at the league for the Southern side. You know, there's 2 teams there. Killarney obviously are there at the moment, who are second, but then Carlow, I've looked at it, statistically they can still make second, so it is, you know, we are looking at that a little bit, not too much.
You got to face off against your brother.
Yeah, this weekend actually.
This weekend as well.
So that'll be interesting. It'll be funny to see Darren try to take me off the floor if my brother's on. But no, in all seriousness, so no, it's good that we're getting prepared now for those games.
And the unbeaten thing, like it's very much a monkey on the back. Like Murray obviously did it in the Women's Division 1. You've a longer season. Like it's a bit tough though, isn't it? Because you could finish the regular season unbeaten. I'm giving you worst case scenario.
Yeah,
and then you could go to that semi-final and lose it and be out of the running for promotion altogether. Yeah, do you know what I mean though? It's tough. Like, would you sooner lose, obviously you'd sooner lose a game between now and end of regular season because it doesn't affect you.
Well, rather than the semi-final.
You're like, rather be unbeaten, Mary. Just
yeah, well, if you're put in that scenario, but you know, look, it's you know, definitely the target is on the back anyway. Some of the pivots in the league anyway, you know, just to get that.
Carlo would only love to do it.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah, definitely. Coach could be delighted as well. But no, I think you know, we're not even thinking of it at this stage. You know, we're just looking forward to that semi-final game.
And you had a big game against Killarney. That was a cracking game actually. I was at it, and Josh Wilson is unreal. Like, he absolutely went off in the 3rd quarter. Him and Stefan together are just, you know, they're a sight to behold, Jason. That 3rd quarter, because Killarney, you have to say, were a bit on top of you in the first half. I know you like pulled it back within 3 points, but there was periods there, as a neutral again, where you'd have been looking at it going, Jesus, Killarney are well able to do this. Yeah,
definitely. They're a very good side. And hopefully Josh isn't watching this, you know, his head would be too massive to make through the door after your comments. But no, and I think maybe the road journey definitely hurt him a bit. It's tough to play in their gym, you know, they get the big crowd in as well. So I think that might have played a bit of effect on them, and you know, they were down a few players now. I know they couldn't get their rotations in, so I think the travel hurt them more than anything else. But yeah, definitely Steph and Josh really carried us through that anyway. Yeah,
they're unreal. There's some highlights on Instagram, I think it is. You guys have it up. We had it on the story on Sunday evening. But like, you'd have to worry about Killarney if it is going to be Killarney.
Definitely, yeah. They're American. Sean, he's a very good player. Definitely, yeah. And, you know, once he's left open, he's going to make it. Yeah. And Pepito as well. He's very, very good. We were quite good, you know, chasing out to the 3-point line. I know he likes to play out there. So, you know, they have an awful lot of players, you know, and then also I think still in their point guard, their other point guard as well. You know, nearly 1 to 12 of them can shoot the ball. So, you know, it is very. They were very good. I think we were lucky on the day now, you know.
Yeah. Oh well, you really pulled ahead of them in that 3rd quarter. Like, that was a massive. And as you said, the depth as well. I think they only travelled with 7 players on Saturday, so it'll just be interesting for me again to see what happens if it is Killarney that you do meet. But looking ahead to this weekend, Men's Super League, you have a very tough game this weekend. You're meeting reigning cup champions Pireville Colester, but it's in home. It's at home even. It's always a good game.
It always is. I mean, I think we beat them handy enough before Christmas that doesn't mean anything against Colester, you know.
Yeah.
It was the same last year. They turned around and beat us by 30 points in the 2nd round, so it's going to be a good game. And I think Templeogue and Colester have had some great matches over the years.
It must be nice to have, at this stage of the season, to have that as a home game though, because it's tough going over there.
It's the last home game, yeah.
Oh, is it? So where else are you off to then?
Colester, and then Tralee with Neptune and Whitecotton.
Okay, all away. Okay, so
tough end to the season.
That is tough finish. But it's a tough finish all round. UCD, Marion, are they playing this weekend? Because they're just after spring. I think they're playing Demons. They are playing Demons. UCD are on the road to Demons. Your other chasers, Garvey's Tralee Warriors, are on the road or at home. I can't speak today. At home to Marie. That's a tricky one. Marie are very nice at the moment.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's done a great job with that team.
Yeah.
And they're very balanced, and I think they did a good job with the imports that they brought in. They complement the Irish players.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any imports coming in taking any spots from the Irish players.
Yeah.
They complement each other very well, and they're playing well right now.
Yeah, so it could be a tricky one for Tralee. Yeah.
Hopefully.
You're like, yes. They're saying the same about you and Colester, of course. The matchups obviously are interesting. UCD, as we said, playing Demons on Sunday. One of the ones I'm really looking forward to, I obviously am looking forward to them all, but Neptune and Killorglin, it's going to be a great game. Like, it's going to be brilliant. It's in Neptune. Last year in the men's Division 1, these were cracking games. They used to hang from the rafters in both places, in Killorglin and in Neptune. And then they've obviously played in Killorglin already this year. It's a bottom of the table clash. Paul Kelleher is gunning for this game. I can actually picture him at home, just planning for it all. That's a really tough one to call.
It is. They're both good teams.
Yeah.
They both like to run, and they both have a lot of young guys on the team as well. So
yeah.
I wouldn't like to put any money on that one.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And final game of the weekend, Moycullen are hosting Belfast Star. So Belfast Star hoping to get back to winning ways. And just flicking over to the Women's Super League, there is a massive battle here, albeit that Liffey Celtics will have the title in a couple of weeks when the season finishes. And the battle for the top 6 spots for the playoffs is absolutely raging on. So DC Mercy are sitting in second place at the moment, but you then have Father Matthews, Glanmire, Brunel, Wildcats and Colester. Possibly could Carlow come in. I don't think Carlow could come in, but all of those are fighting for 5 spots. So the showdowns here are going to be absolutely fantastic. You've got Carlow hosting Brunel in a game that Brunel really need to win. Father Matthews are welcoming Liffey Celtics, and actually a shout out for Father Matthews here. We are looking for a speedy recovery for Chantal Alford as well, who also picked up an injury at the weekend. So a bit of a tough weekend for injuries around the Women's League at the weekend. So both of those will probably be missing an American each at the weekend. Pirate Leicester against DC Mercy, that's always a cracker. And one that Carl Kilbride, I'm sure, will be hoping that he can pull out of the bag. And Wildcats are welcoming Glanmire. So it's all really, really close battles within that top 6, top 7 even. And then you've got NUIG Mystics hoping for a first win of the season when they host Marble City Hawks. Hawks, of course, with a huge 2-point win against Carlow last weekend. Elaine Pennington getting the shout out with that winning basket against her former coach in Carlow, Martin Conroy. So, sorry about that. But you guys are, speaking of Martin Conroy, you guys are going to Carlow this weekend.
Yeah, we are.
Do you know much about them, apart from your brother?
Yeah. I've seen them a lot over the last 2 years, because last year they played an early game, so I was watching them play.
Yeah, they played so early, yeah.
And then I saw them this year a few times as well. I saw their game against Killarney.
So you have them scouted out. I remember that game actually, yeah.
Yeah, so. But anyway, yeah, no, it'll be a good game. I think their American Johnny is very good as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's very athletic, he can shoot the ball as well.
Butsy though, is that?
Butsy, yeah, definitely. And they're in a nice small court anyway, so that plays their advantage. They like to play on the small court and try and it's nearly a short sprint game, so they like to play a nice, I think it's 2-3 zone, to clog everything up there. So it'll be a tough one. Hopefully Gally will have his Gally will be able to shoot a bit like he did last weekend. So
yeah, he got some really nice shots out of actually, yeah.
Green like Gally likes to call himself.
Yeah, I was calling him a dancer at one stage.
I saw that.
Darren McGovern was like, no, he's not dancing. But he did some nice moves. He was weaving in and out around the wall. So
every trainer.
And especially when he was going up against Pepito as well.
Yeah.
That was a really good matchup.
I think 2 biggest guys in the league probably, yeah.
And Elijah. Elijah from Cubs, yeah. It's interesting battles all around really, because Ballincollig, who are top of the Southern Conference, had a weekend off last weekend, and I'm sure we're having a great outlook at you guys in Killarney. They're playing Dublin Lions.
That'll be an interesting one, because Killarney are on 3 losses and Ballincollig are on 2. And
yeah.
So you never know. And Lions are playing very well now at the moment, especially after bringing in Conroy. So that'll be an interesting one to see as well, to see what happens after that, you know.
What's even more interesting as well is that Dublin Lions are joint second in your conference with EJ Sligo Ulsters, and the only reason they're above them at the moment is they have the head-to-head on Sligo. So Lions really need to win this game to stay ahead of Sligo. Who have Sligo got this weekend?
Sligo, what, 11 game winning streak, is it? Or?
Yeah, 11 game winning streak. Sligo, I can't see them. Maybe they're off this weekend. Oh no, I see them. Ooh, Sunday, they're playing Portlaoise Panthers. That's such a weird one. I'm like, ooh, that's going to be a great game. That is going to be a great game.
That'll be interesting with Zach and
Mike.
Karloff, That'll be an interesting
That'll be a shootout. There'll be no lights left in St Mary's Hall. That's going to be an absolute shootout. Mike has scored some ridiculous shots this year, so that's really interesting. So Sligo have to win, and Dublin Lions have to win, but Ballincollig kind of have to win as well.
Yeah.
It's great. Where are Killarney at? I've just come up from school's finals, so you're going to have to forgive me for being a bit scattered here with fixtures. Scots Liquor St. Paul's Killarney are home to Tolka. Tolka coming in off a tough loss against Vikings at the weekend,
and it'll be one day they'll want to get back. Did you say it's in Killarney?
It's in Killarney,
Yeah, Killarney would learn to get a win after last
especially
weekend, especially if they can.
To Ballincollig,
Exactly, especially if they have the chance to go ahead.
Yeah, I don't fancy calling any of them really. Other games around that league, obviously, Cobs are on the road down to Vikings this weekend. Speaking of Elijah and indeed of Vikings, Limerick Celtics are hosting LYIT Donegal. Shout out to Niall McDermott for his fantastic performance at the weekend. And speaking of fantastic performances, our own Matt Hall, who was meant to be on timeout, but maybe he knew I was going to ask him about this. So
Icing his knees.
He came back out of retirement again for UL Sport Eagles. So he was player coach at the weekend against Niall and LYIT Donegal. Seemed to pay off for him though. They won out pretty well.
They do a jersey swap at the end.
So took a while to take the jersey down and
take it off, so UL Eagles and Matt are on the road to Father Matthews this weekend. Father Matthews actually have a double header. They're also playing Titans, and there's probably more that I'm missing, but as I said, I can't see them. So just to finish off, Women's Division 1, actually there is one game, and it is that refixed game I was talking about between Phoenix Rockets and UL Huskies, and that will finish off that season. They are of course having a blitz on the weekend of the 9th of March. So that'll be held here, so you can come along and watch that, and it's going to be a great action-packed weekend of Women's Division 1 basketball. But back to the leagues. Countdown now. Are you feeling the pressure? I know we've been talking about it, and you know you're very cool, calm, and composed, which you always are. But are you feeling the pressure? Like, is it tough? Like, what's training like at the moment?
It's enjoyable. I mean, this is why we come to train. You know, this is why we play for so long, is to try and put ourselves in these positions. And, you know, we have a good group of guys around us that are all locked in and ready to go. So it's more excitement for the end of the season now than feeling nervous about it.
And like, is it hard, I suppose, as well? Like, you're obviously, your games clash with each other so much. Like, is it like when you're coming off the court? Are you coming off the court saying, "Did Tralee win?"
Oh, there's someone always shouting the results, either from the end of the bench or from the crowd behind us.
So it's a good motivator, I suppose.
Well, I mean, after the game, once again.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, during the game, I was like, that'd be a good motivator to hear, if you hear Tralee are losing at half time, like, oh. So yeah, I obviously can't get you to call it. Do you want to call the Men's Super League?
Oh, who's going to win it? No, I definitely don't.
Or is it going to go to a playoff? Do you think someone... Here's better.
It'd be good to see another playoff, just, you know, for
gives all heart attacks.
Yeah, another, you know, from a neutral point of view, just to see, you know, a playoff at the end of it, you know. But no, I think it's too tough to call.
Yeah. So do you think one team is going to win it outright, or do you think it will go to a playoff? Because Tralee have tricky fixtures left as well. I know you're on the road, but Tralee have Marie this week. They have to play Marion twice. I can't remember who else. I didn't even feature you guys. On the 9th of March, obviously top of the table clash, if it's still a top of the table clash, indeed, in Tralee. Like, that's a tough finish. Even to have UCD twice the last weekend of the season, that could be a decider.
Yeah. And it's, it's again on Saturday and again on Sunday.
Yeah.
Should be really tough for both teams.
Bad now, yeah.
The travel will be the same for everybody. I guess.
Yes, it's fair, yeah. And Elijah's been a nice addition into UCD, hasn't he?
101 points, is that what you said?
He's so fast.
He definitely helps with that.
Conor really likes to say he's part of the fastest backcourt in Ireland. And it's like, nothing to do with you, Conor. But, and how about yourselves? Obviously, you're on countdown now. Did you ever think, coming into men's Division 1, obviously after the disappointment of losing that playoff to Neptune last year, did you ever think in September that you were going to be, at this stage of the season, unbeaten?
It was very funny at the start of the year. We thought it was going to be maybe 3 players and then everyone else underage, but then it came together. We were fortunate in that aspect, and yeah, I don't think any of us saw 20-0 at this stage. I mean, it's funny, like you think, because at the end of it, we're not looking at the league or anything like that we'd all be laughing and joking and trying to earn any more kind of at each other, to keep it going, So no, yeah, I don't think anyone thought we were going to be this, going as well as we are at the moment,
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Till your brother gets you this weekend. We shall see. So as I said, all fixtures are on the Basketball Ireland website. It is a short and sweet one from here, but thanks a million, guys. And for those of you who are waiting, Tommy O'Mahony's Ireland Under-18 team will be being announced on the Basketball Ireland website at 7 o'clock. Let me see. Yes, 22. So I've done that very well. Just on time. So that team will be up on site at 7 o'clock. So best of luck to everyone. And have we anything else to tell people? Schools finals were cracking today. So there was 4 big games. Temple Oak actually with the win. Temple Oak College indeed with the win in the under 16A. Yes. Boys final. So all of the results and the streams are up on our website, and the remaining 4 finals for this week at least will take place on Thursday, and they will all be streamed live, of course, across our YouTube channel, so don't forget to tune in. Oh yeah, one final thing to tell you as well, the nominations for the President's Lifetime Achievements Awards are also open, so it's a link on our website. I might boost it back up to the top of the page when we log off from here. And so you need to just nominate somebody in your local club or your local school, somebody who's been giving everything to the game and to the community and to the youth of basketball around the country, and someone that you think is deserving of national recognition at the awards on the 11th of May in Croke Park. So as I said, I'm going to move that link back up to the top of the website for you, so get on there, see how you can apply, and applications are closing in the next couple of weeks, so get on it soon. But apart from that, thanks a million to Jason from Temple Oak and to Neil from AINA. We will be back probably next week to see how everything's been going, to see how the league tables are shaping up, and to see if the battles that we've just spoken about are still the main battles to be talking about come next week. Thanks a million, guys.
No problem.